Hey guys, my name is Sir Ichigo. This is going to be the pilot video to my new YouTube channel that I'm going to be starting, and it's going to be based around the Pokemon TCG, mostly competitive play. I may open a few packs every now and then, but for my first video, I'm going to be doing a deck profile on the deck that I play. It's a Raticate Break deck. This deck, I haven't lost many times with. If I ever do a tournament, I usually end up placing like second or first sometimes. Rarely have a bad time with this deck. Anyway, enough of me talking, let's get started. Now, your main attacker, well, you need 3 Rattata for pre-evolution purposes. And then next, you have your, let me get these, Raticate with the ability Dirty Shock. Not the ability, the attack Dirty Shock and the ability Antibodies. Dirty Shock, it poisons your opponent's Pokemon and you discard tools. Antibodies, Raticate can be affected by special conditions. When you pair him up with who I'm about to bring out pretty soon, you will be able to tell it makes a pretty good combo. Next, 3 Raticate Break. So I do run a 3-3 line, 3-3-3 line of the Raticate line. And Raticate Break has the attack Super Fang. Sorry, my focus isn't that great. Let me try and... Nope. Yeah, it won't focus. Anyway, the attack Super Fang for 2 energy. He drops your opponent's Pokemon down to 10. So, I saw this card. My buddy bought a booster box, and I'm like, let me have this. I want to build a deck off of it. I got it, and now I have a deck. For my secondary attacker, I have Machamp EX. He takes a bit to power up, but he's mainly sitting on your bench. But the purpose of him is... I'll come back to him. Next, we have Spinarak, which is leading up to Ariados, who is your bench helper, I guess you would say. Ariados poisons both active Pokemon. Raticate can't be poisoned, so, you know, it poisons your opponent's active. You use Raticate to drop him down to 10. Sorry about that. Use Raticate to drop him down to 10, and you got a one-shot KO. Then Machamp, you can poison Machamp if you don't have Raticate on the field, and you can hit for 160 for 2 fighting and a colorless, which it's a little bulky to power up, but in the end, he does the job and he gets it done. So, yeah, now I'm gonna get onto my next Pokemon. I use one Jirachi, XY promo. I use him for Night March purposes. Discard special energy attached to your opponent, and Jirachi can't take damage from that if you do the discarding. Next, I don't run Shaman mainly because they're too expensive. I run Octillery. He works just as well, just as good. Most of you guys know what Octillery does, but if you don't, Octillery drops your opponent. Not drops your opponent. It lets you draw till you have 5 in your hand, which in my case, well, from my perspective, is actually pretty good. I run 1 Silent Lab as a stadium. No basic Pokemon have any abilities, which doesn't really affect your side of the field because none of your Pokemon are basic that run abilities. So if you want to shut out things like Shaman or Wombuffet or just things that shut off your abilities, it's a pretty good card to run. I also run 2 Parallel City. These are used to shut out decks that rely on bench size like Mega Ray or Raichu and stuff like that. I run 1 Sacred Ash to get stuff back into your to get Pokemon back into your deck, especially because sometimes it takes a while to set up, and so sometimes you're sacking Pokemon, and that's no bueno. I run 1 Crushing Hammer just to get rid of energy and buy me time. I run a Super Rod, same purpose, get energy and Pokemon back into your deck. I run 2 Trainer's Mail, you know, basic staples. Now I run 2 Floatstone to move around stuff easily, like Remoraid or Octillery and Machamp if they ever have to come up as an active. I run 2 Level Ball. Level Ball is great because most of this deck, all the Pokemon are under 90 HP with the exception of Machamp. So, you know, it's always a good thing to have. I run 1 Enhanced Hammer to get rid of special energy that my opponent runs, or stuff like that. I run 2 Ultra Ball, staple. I don't run 4. I only run 2 VS Seekers. I figured 2 works pretty well. I haven't really had a situation where I've had to dig for a 4th supporter. I mean, if you want to run 4, you could always change up the deck list a little bit and run 4. But primarily, I only run 2, and it works out just great for me. I run, my bad. I run 4 double colorless energy, mainly just to power up Raticate. 1 energy attach, knockout, works great. Let me set those off to the side. I run 6 fighting energy. These also do help out Raticate if you can't get a DCE in hand. It's also used to power. They're also used to power up Machamp. I only run 6 because I figured out. I've found out that that's just like the perfect number to run. As far as energy are concerned, I only run 10 energy in this deck, so I don't think that's that bad. I run a Zerosic for Garb Rotor purposes. If that has a tool attached to it, you can get rid of that tool and get back to your abilities. I run 1 Bridget to, especially because this deck was very reliant on basic Pokemon and, getting your stuff out there. Bridget works fairly well. You grab 3 basics and just set them onto your bench. I run a Winona to dig out the Raticates and Rattatas and all that and get those guys set up. I run 2 Sycamore just for a fresh hand. I run 2 N. N got reprinted. I'm pretty happy about that. N's actually a really, really good card. I run 2 Wally. I use Wally to speed up the Raticate line, and sometimes I use it to get Octillery out to draw more, and then get my Raticate set up. I run 2 Birches, self-explanatory, and I run 2 Lysanders. Now, that is my deck. That is what I play around. Sorry, it's kind of messy. I had a very small table. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, leave a comment, like that like button, and you guys take it easy. I'll be posting more in the near future.